Well, the Indonesians are at it again. They've found more ways to disrespect countries like Australia, despite our frequent help and aid to their people. Why do they do this to Australia on a frequent basis? In the space of 24 hours, Indonesia has managed to stick their middle finger up to the West twice. The government in Jakarta has been inexplicably generous to the bomb maker who assembled the explosives used in the 2002 Sari Club and Paddy's Bar attacks. So on the 20th anniversary of those suicide bombings, which killed 88 Aussies, what do? They allow Umar Patek to be released from prison after serving just half of his 20-year sentence. They are kidding. He's been granted clemency to coincide with the country's Independence Day. They could not come up with a better method of hurting those grieving families all over again. Then the Indonesian President Joko Widodo happily announces that the Chinese President Xi Jinping and Russian leader Vladimir Putin are both planning to attend a G20 summit in Bali this November. Now, I understand the history and the current relationship between Indonesia and China. But Putin, the pariah of the world, going to Bali, this murderous madman who has allowed 5,000 Ukraine civilians to be killed, not to mention the rape of women and the torture of soldiers. The Indonesians are validating that massacre, while most of the rest of the world are finding ways to end the war by applying tough sanctions on Russia. Widodo has always had that shade of arrogance, and I think that's what it is. How dare he give Putin equal billing on any stage next to the most powerful and democratic nations of the world? As for the likes of Biden, Macron, even Albanese, they must pull the plug on attending this right away. They cannot legitimise the invitation by willingly meeting with this disgraceful scumbag. And still on Russia, terrific to see this week that the National Capital Authority in Canberra has stripped a lease held by the Russian Federation for a new embassy on a site in Yarralamla. And let's go one step further with that. To show the world who we truly support, let's lease out the Russian site to the Ukrainians. This has been suggested by the Australian Federation of Ukrainian Organisations over the weekend, and I couldn't agree more. So here's two tangible things the Prime Minister could do tomorrow morning, apart from, of course, holding another press conference to get stuck into Scott Morrison. He'll do that too. But when that's done, Australia needs to send the Indonesian leadership a strongly worded letter officially bailing out of the G20 summit and condemning their acceptance of Vladimir Putin as an attendee. And the second letter he needs to write before lunchtime, sign off on a new home for the Ukrainian embassy, smack bang on the same site that the Russians wanted to build on. We should start standing up strongly against both Indonesia and Russia and show them where they stand in the eyes of all of Australia.